Are you an introvert or an extrovert? This is one of the most common questions when discussing personality traits. Society often encourages us to categorize ourselves into one of these two groups. If you enjoy solitude and find social interactions draining, you're labeled as an introvert. If you thrive in social settings and feel energized by people, you're considered an extrovert. But what if you don't fully belong to either? What if, instead of defining yourself based on rigid labels, you focused on being aware of your tendencies and making conscious choices? The truth is, no one is purely introverted or extroverted. These are not absolute categories, but rather a spectrum of behaviors influenced by habits, experiences, and circumstances. In this discussion, we'll explore 5 key ideas that can help you move beyond labels and develop a more fluid and adaptable approach to social interactions. 1. Labels are just mental constructs. The first thing to understand is that introversion and extroversion are not innate, fixed traits. They are psychological constructs, ideas created by people to describe common behavioral patterns. While these labels can be useful in understanding ourselves, they can also limit us when we identify too strongly with them. For example, if you believe you are an introvert, you might avoid social events, assuming they will always be draining. On the other hand, if you see yourself as an extrovert, you may feel pressure to be social all the time, even when you need solitude. These self-imposed limitations can prevent personal growth. Rather than boxing yourself into one category, it's more beneficial to recognize that your behaviors and preferences can change over time. Some situations may require you to be outgoing, while others may call for introspection. Being aware of this flexibility allows you to adapt, rather than be constrained by a label. 2. The power of choice in social behavior. One of the biggest misconceptions about personality is the belief that it dictates behavior. In reality, you always have a choice in how you interact with the world. If you usually avoid social situations because you consider yourself introverted, ask yourself, is this a conscious choice, or am I acting out of habit? Similarly, if you constantly seek social engagement, consider whether it's a genuine desire or a conditioned response. By practicing self-awareness, you can begin making more intentional choices. Instead of saying, I can't do this because I'm introverted, or I have to do this because I'm extroverted, try asking, what does this situation require of me, and how do I want to respond? This shift in mindset allows you to step out of automatic behaviors and take control of your social interactions in a way that aligns with your true needs, rather than a predetermined label. 3. Balancing social energy through awareness. Rather than seeing yourself as either introverted or extroverted, it's more helpful to think about how you manage your energy in different social settings. Some activities may recharge you, while others may drain you, regardless of your general tendencies. For example, an introvert may feel comfortable and energized talking one-on-one with a close friend, but exhausted in a large group setting. An extrovert may enjoy lively conversations, but still need time alone to reset. The key is to be mindful of how different interactions affect you. Pay attention to your energy levels and adjust accordingly. If you feel drained, take breaks to recharge. If you feel isolated, seek meaningful social connections. By tuning into your needs, you can strike a balance that works for you. 4. Overcoming social conditioning and fear. One of the biggest challenges with identifying too strongly as an introvert or extrovert is that it can reinforce unconscious fears. For example, if you consider yourself introverted, you may have a fear of public speaking or socializing in large groups. This fear can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because you believe you are not good at these things, you avoid them, which prevents you from improving. Similarly, extroverts might fear solitude, feeling uncomfortable being alone with their thoughts. They may constantly seek external validation, avoiding introspection. The best way to overcome these limitations is to consciously step outside of your comfort zone. If you are an introvert, challenge yourself to participate in social situations in small, manageable ways, such as initiating conversations with one person at a time. If you are an extrovert, practice spending time alone without distractions to develop a deeper sense of self-awareness. Over time, Pushing beyond these unconscious fears will allow you to expand your capabilities and become more adaptable. 5. Moving from unconscious habit to conscious awareness. The ultimate goal is to shift from acting out of habit to making intentional, conscious choices about your behavior. If you tend to be extroverted, pause before jumping into a conversation. Ask yourself, why do I feel the need to speak? Is it necessary? Will it add value? If the answer is no, practice restraint. Try cutting your usual talking time in half to see how it affects the interaction. If you tend to be introverted, push yourself to speak up when you have something valuable to say. The next time you hesitate to share an idea in a meeting, remind yourself that your voice matters. Even if your opinion isn't accepted, the act of expressing it will strengthen your confidence. By becoming more conscious of your habits, you gain the ability to adjust them in ways that serve you better. This leads to a more balanced and authentic way of interacting with the world. Before the final words, if you find the content useful, please subscribe to the Mature Soul channel so you don't miss the next videos on the maturity. You will find content that change the way you look at life. Introversion and extroversion are not fixed identities. They are behavioral tendencies that can be adjusted based on awareness and choice. The real challenge is not whether you are one or the other, but whether you are allowing a label to control your actions. By recognizing that these labels are just constructs, understanding that you have the power to choose your responses, balancing your social energy, overcoming fears, and shifting from unconscious habits to conscious awareness, you can break free from the constraints of personality labels. Ultimately, the key to personal growth is not fitting into a predefined category, but developing the ability to adapt to different situations while staying true to yourself. Rather than asking, am I an introvert or an extrovert? The better question is, am I aware of my behavior and am I making choices that serve me best? By embracing this mindset, you gain the freedom to navigate life with greater ease, confidence, and authenticity. Thank you and see you next time.